So let's come onto our hands and knees. And actually, yeah, we'll sit back in a child's pose. I think that's a great place to start. Megan's in a hot child, so you can either do full child's pose, knees apart, feet together, and just take a moment. And those of you who just joined, we've just been contemplating change and transition and how we feel about it and our preferences, how some changes we label as good and some change we label as bad. And can we use our yoga practice today to play in the middle, to see where we can stay neutral maybe in our preferences and also just observe. So we'll find
I think your earbuds aren't working.
Okay, I'm coming.
Good to be with you.
I know what it's working.
Bluetooth is on here.
Yes. Now, good, I think.
Good. Okay.
Yay.
Okay. So now we're going to start. So from our child's pose, which is kind of a womb-like space, right? It's named child's pose for a reason. We maybe get a little more uncomfortable in just coming up out of that pose and taking a open chest here, arching the back. And then on the exhale, we'll go right back, resting the sitting bones back and down on the heels, and just come through like a wave, come through your spine, into arching your back, opening your chest, and exhale. So you'll just find your own fluid movement. And I wanted to really stick with a slower flow today. We're going to do more heart openers, a little more working with the element of water and earth, and balancing air, because this time of year our air can get a little imbalanced, the vata element. And exhale, coming back, stretching out. Good. And then we'll come into a couple of cat-cows right onto the hands and knees. Inhale, arching the back, look up. Exhale, curling around the navel into the spine. We'll take about 3 or 4 more of these cat-cows. Inhaling, opening the chest, arching that back, and then exhaling, press through the arms and opening the back of the heart. Inhaling. This is a nice pose to think about, kind of massaging your heart space. And then on the last breath, we'll exhale, round the back. Good. And then let's take a step forward with the hands, keeping the creases of the wrists lined up. Tuck your toes under and then slide your hips back and up. And we'll take our first downward dog with the knees bent. Yeah, so you can get more extension in the spine with the knees bent. Yeah, good. And then wake up your hands. Your palms of your hands are going to spread wide, soles of the feet. Nice, everyone. And then we'll exhale, look up between the hands and just walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mats. And then set your hands on your shins. Feet are going to be about hip distance apart. And inhale, look up halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. And we'll do that a couple of times. Inhale, unfold from the navel up to the heart. And then on the exhale, bow. Good. One more time. Inhale, lift, lengthen, extend. Exhale, fold forward. And let's just take the hands to the back of the calves. We're going to give a little squeeze to the ankles, the calves, backs of the knees, and maybe even a little squeeze on the hamstrings, hips. It's waking up your bodies this morning. Yeah. And then we'll exhale, release the hands, bend the knees, and just roll up one vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing. Yes. Yeah, and fall, I feel like, is like a time we need to like keep the energy moving. So let's just do a little shake your shoulders, shake your knees, maybe shake out your ankle a little bit, your wrists. The joints can get a little stagnant. Yeah. Maybe a little hopping up and down. Give it some voice. Yes. Why the screen keeps doing this. Whew. Okay, there we go. Great. Okay, how are we doing so far? Good? Okay. So let's do some sun salutations, and I like to call them lunar salutations when we're moving a little more slowly. So we'll come up to the front of our mats, bring the hands together, and close the eyes for a moment, and just see if you can sense. And you can also keep your eyes softly open. It's also a nice way to be in your center. And just see if you can feel your weight in your feet, moving a little front, back, side to side, and make those movements smaller and smaller and smaller until you feel your center, your body organizing around this center. And then find the top of your head reaching towards the sky. Yes. And exhale, we'll let the arms go down. I gotta face you guys. Inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky. And exhale, slowly fold forward. And release your head and neck. Inhale to a halfway lift, roll the shoulders back. We're actually just gonna do that variation right now. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, leading with your heart, sweep your arms all the way back up to the sky. Reaching Urdhva Hastasana, exhale the arms down by your side. Let's take the hands onto the lower back with the fingers facing up like this. And lift up your chest, roll your shoulders back, and just here, look up. So you're just opening up your chest nice and big, but you also want to stay really grounded through your legs. So you want to think about the sides of your ribs lifting. Good, and then on the exhale, you can come down and feel free to give your hamstrings a little massage again on the way down, calves, grounding the feet. Inhale to a halfway lift, roll the shoulders back, and exhale, fold forward. And then plug your feet in, again, leading with your heart. Inhale, reach the arms wide and up. Rooting as you rise like a tree, exhale the arms down. Let's one more time, just take the hands back and open up a little more here. Open your throat, look up, and exhale, coming down, forward fold. Good, inhale to a halfway lift, the hands on the shins. And then on the exhale, we'll step our left leg back into a lunge, bring the back knee to the floor. And then inhale, let's sweep the arms up overhead, and then point your palms forward. It's almost like there's a wall right in front of you, and you're gonna press your hands into the wall, the imaginary wall. And at the same time, take your arm bones back, so the armpits kind of float towards the back plane of the body. Yeah, and then turn and look up. And just breathe. If you can let the shoulders go, the eyes soften. Great. One more big breath, maybe even curling back a tiny bit more. And then exhale, release the hands. Good. Set your left hand down and reach your right arm up. Modified lunge here. So before we go into the full sun salute, we're going to break it down a little. Modified twist. Yeah. So you let your hips soften towards the ground, and from the tailbone extend through the crown. Long spine as you twist. Good, and then exhale, look down, release the hands. We'll step back onto our hands and knees, and we'll come into Ashtanga Pranam. Some of you guys know this, but you keep your butt high and you reach your chest and chin, and then once you arrive, then you lower your hips and inhale, come into a baby cobra. So maybe not quite as high to begin with, and just roll a little bit side to side. Yeah. Just moving and stretching open the shoulders. So we want to take the rigidity out of the postures today and bring a little fluidity. And then on the exhale, come back, and you can always be here in the puppy pose. This is one option. The other is downward facing dog. So if this feels like too much, you just modify. Modifying is listening to your body, right? Good, everyone. Take a couple of breaths here. Listen, soften your eyes and your gaze. And even here, just noticing. Maybe it's a little hard to move your body this morning. Usually a little trickier in the fall in our joints. That's where the joints get stiff. Good, and then exhale to the bottom and look between your hands. We'll step the left foot forward and bring the back knee down to the floor. Good, and inhale, come on up, and let's hook our thumbs together here. And just take a slight bow. And when you bow forward, think about knitting, like you're knitting your ribs in. And so the back opens a little bit more. Okay, and then you want to find that balance as you come back upright, looking up towards the ceiling, little smile. Take a few breaths. Yeah. And you might even stretch a little bit over to the side and just feel the psoas and kind of the abdomen stretching and opening. And then inhaling back to center and exhale, come down and place the right hand down and take the left arm to the sky. Yeah, good. And just a few breaths. We're still warming up here. Nice, everyone. And one more inhalation, shoulders back. Exhale, release. Great. And then we'll take a big hop up to the front of our mats, halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, deep fold, Uttanasana. Good. Plug those feet, four corners of the feet, and lead with your heart. And inhale, arms wide and up, palms touching. Exhale, let's just take the hands right down the center line, just nice and slow. Moving that slow flow. So now we'll do Surya Namaskar, and I want you to think of like you're swimming through warm honey when you're doing these sun salutations. So you're moving that slowly and kind of lusciously too. So we'll take a deep breath in and exhale the arms down by your sides, and then turn the palms and inhale, just slowly reaching the arms up, almost like you can feel the air as you come forward, deep forward bow, Uttanasana. Inhaling, bring the hands to the shins and lengthen from the tail to the crown. Exhale, we'll step both feet back and come into a plank pose and just pause here for a moment. And then on the next exhale, knees to the floor, chest to the floor. Ashtanga Pranam, gliding right into Cobra. You can also stick with Baby Cobra. Free up the neck. Exhale, lower. Press back through the knees, and you can either come back to a puppy pose or a full downward dog. I'm going to let you decide that this morning. You do get to have a preference here. Yeah, so that's our humanness. We get to have preferences. But the yoga practice also teaches us to be a witness, to not get attached to one way or another, one way being right and the other way being wrong. They're all experiences, right? And we'll finish our breaths at the very tail end. Look up between your hands and step, or if you want to hop playfully, you can. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, hold forward. And then inhale, nice and slowly. The arms go wide all the way up. Reach for the sky. Exhale, you can come arms by your sides. Good. I was just thinking, you're here. That's a big change, coming to a yoga class. Good for you. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, up and over. Deep forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, open up the chest wide. Exhale, step or hop. You can either move right through or go slowly. Take a pause here. Inhale. Or exhale, Ashtanga Pranam, slowly coming into Cobra or upward dog if you feel warm. Exhale, press back and take your pose, either half dog or full dog. Yeah, wherever you are, waking up your toes, your feet, your hands, the tips of your fingers, breathing in and breathing out. So cycles, right? We're in that cycle of fall. Many of us love fall. Yeah. What can you let go of? What are you ready to release? Compost. And then we'll follow our next breath to the tail end. Look between the hands. Walk or hop all the way up. Inhaling halfway up. Loop the shoulders back and exhale, fold. Good. Plug the feet in. Inhale. Reach your arms up to the sky. Good. And then exhale, arms to your sides. And we'll just come to mountain pose, close the eyes. Actually love this pose, just standing still in the mountain pose, especially after moving. And soften the back of your knees. And again, you can move your weight a little forward and back, in inner to outer. Seeing if you can feel the intelligence of your body organizing in space, right? Great. Okay, then let your eyes open. We'll bend our knees, sweep the fingertips to the floor, and just touch the floor for a moment. Yeah, and let your butt stick out a little bit. Yeah. That's going to help to widen and open the lower back. Just let it stick out. Then you'll drop your tailbone towards the earth, arms come up by the ears, and just stay here. Find the balance of front to back. If it feels okay in your neck, you can look up. Otherwise, just keep your gaze down and breathe. Chair pose, seated chair pose. Yeah. Good, and then exhale, we'll fold forward and just hang here. Actually, maybe even take your elbows. It helps to traction the spine here. Great. And then we'll walk our feet a little bit more apart, actually, and take your elbows again. And then just let your whole upper body sway from side to side, kind of like a big elephant trunk. Deepening your breath. And then on the next exhale, we'll release our hands. We'll scoot our feet maybe a little closer together and step your left leg back into a lunge. And then scoot this right foot all the way out to the side. Both hands are going to come to the inside. And you can either keep the back leg lifted or back knee comes down. Yeah, we'll just do some kind of yummy hip movements, hip circles here. And you can move in little micro circles if you like, or you can take some bigger, like you're just with your tailbone stirring a big pot of soup. Soup time, yay. And just take a couple more spirals here, meeting those little edges. Maybe there's some parts of the hip you don't really prefer to go into because it's more painful or it's more tight. See if you can stay curious. Good, and then inhale, we'll walk the foot back in a little bit. Lift the back leg off the floor. And let's come on up, taking the hands onto the thigh bone. Yeah. So you can bend your back knee a little bit. That's going to help stabilize things. You can also stay here. Yeah, this is a little more stable. Okay, good. And then inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Either way, back knee down or back leg lifted. Exhale, bow forward, and we're going to just step right back to downward dog. And your choice, if you want to move through vinyasa, you're welcome to go through cobra or upward dog, back to downward dog. And then we'll just meet here in our dog pose. Great, and then look up between your hands, step your left foot forward. Yeah, and we'll come back down onto our knee and scoot our foot wide. Yeah, and then both hands inside the foot. Let's do our hip circles. So again, you set the pace here. Maybe you're just doing a couple little movements, or maybe you're doing some bigger spiral movements. Feeling your way through, feeling into the edges of sensation, the tight spots, the loose spots. What's it like just to be curious? Like, what if being tight was no worse than being open? They're just different. And then good, we'll exhale from here, and you can keep that back knee down, or if you want to challenge yourself a little more, lift the back leg and inhale, sweep the arms up. Yeah, and palms face in towards each other. Actually, this time we're going to reach back and cup the hands behind the head. Yeah. And then you'll just curl back a little bit, using your hands as like a hammock for your head. Opening up the chest, heart. Take a couple of big breaths. Smile. Yes, and then exhale. The hands come down, and we'll step our way back into a downward dog. Breathing deeply, and then inhale with your next breath. Lower the hips and lower all the way down to your bellies. And we're going to rest the forehead down on the floor. And you're going to take your hands and TP them out to the side a little bit. Yeah, great. Yeah, and then before you come up, I want you to set your foundation. So your tailbone reaches towards the heels. That opens up the lumbar. And then loop the shoulders back. So you feel the shoulder blades come down the back. And then inhale, rise up. Yeah, and you just come to your edge. Again, your chest is going to kind of rest inside the hammock of the arms. And you can look a little bit over to your left, a little bit over to your right, and back to center. We see all viewpoints. Exhale, lower. Great, press back onto your knees. And let's take a puppy pose here. So puppy pose is knees right underneath the hips. A little different than child's pose, kind of a mix between, downward dog and child's. And you can move your hips, just slosh them side to side. Feel that element of water and fluid. Flexible. Adaptable. The seasons teach us, I think that's the beauty of the seasons, they teach us adaptability. Take another deep breath in and exhale, follow your breath out. Good, and inhale, walk your hands back in, and we'll slide our hips back for one breath here. Great, we're gonna inhale, reach the right leg to the sky, and exhale, step through to a lunge. This time, turn your back heel to the floor. So your back foot's gonna be about 45 degrees turned in. Yeah, and you wanna ground the outer back foot. And then inhale, come into an airplane pose. Like you're getting ready to take off here in your body. Yeah. And this might be as far as you go today. If you want to take it into the full Virabhadrasana, the arms come up overhead. Try to keep that back leg straight as possible. This is my hard side. Good. And then we'll open it right up to Warrior Two. How are we doing? Are you guys doing well? Yeah? Good, good, good. How's everybody out there? Internet land. Good, good. Okay, Warrior Two, gazing off the fingertips, smile. Stay with your breath here. And in fact, relax the elbows, relax your shoulders a little bit. Yeah, relax your hands. Let the joints be soft and open. Reverse the warrior, taking the left hand back, right arm overhead. And then exhale, let's take our forearm right onto the thigh here. Pause here for a moment and move your hips back and forth. So again, we want to come back to the softening of the pelvic floor, softening of the groins. Don't get too hard in your pelvis. Then take your arm overhead and breathe a couple of breaths here. So I love the idea of just working the form in your body and then, in a sense, not worrying about the form, right? Not getting attached to one or the other. Good, Afton. And then we'll inhale, come all the way up to standing. And we're just gonna go the opposite way on the other side. So we'll start here, inhale, exhale, bend your front knee, we'll come right into extended side angle. Yeah, good, beautiful. Nice. Take a few breaths. Good. Stay with your breath. And then we'll inhale. We're going to come up to standing again and reverse the warrior for acting. You're facing the other way. You can't even see us. Yeah, you're doing great. I'm going to just mirror for a second. Yes. Is that right? Yeah. So you can turn your front foot out. Yep, you got it. There you go. Now reverse it. Good, good, good. And then exhale. Where are we? Warrior two. Thank you, Megan. The arms are stretched straight out. Yes. Slow flow. Come back to your breath. Stay open in your heart space. Beautiful. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. Turn your feet parallel. Hands come right onto your hips. Yeah. And then on the in breath, we'll lift up through the sides of the waist, open up the chest. You're just going to fold forward here. Bring your hands to the floor. You can come down after and look at your mom, see what she's doing here. Good. So separate your feet enough where you can bring your hands to the floor. And inhale, again, lift the chest and come into the center of your feet. So both the quads and hamstrings are activated. Then exhale, fold forward. Don't worry about your head getting to the floor. If it gets there, easily go for it. If not, let it lengthen down. Good, yes. Prasarita Padottanasana. So the eyes are just gonna look past the tip of the nose. Soft drishti, soft gaze. A little soft smile comes across the face. Maybe you prefer the in-breath to the out-breath, in which case you might explore a little bit of lengthening in your out-breath, and perhaps that transition into the in-breath. Yeah. So we'll play with that transition now, right? We finish the breath out, walk the hands forward. Great. And then let's see, I want to turn to the front of our mats and just come back to a downward facing dog. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Great. Then I'm going to have you guys look between your hands, step your left foot forward and walk your way back. So this way Afton can see what's going on. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to stay here and then turn your toes out about 45 degrees and walk over to the right, bending your right knee, coming into side lunge, Skandasana. Yes. Yeah, and you can come low if you like. You can stay high in the hips. See what feels better in your body. And then inhale and exhale, walk on over to the other side. Yeah. And then what I want you to do is take the next minute or so and go from side to side. And you might go super slow. You might even add some arms in. Feel free to be creative in your body. You might just do the regular thing we're doing. You may come up. I want you to just feel the freedom to kind of explore different movements, stretches, getting out of the box, playing out of the box. You can also stay in the box, whatever your preference is. Yes, just feel into the edges of sensation in your body. Notice where it's moving more fluidly, where it's more stiff. Great, and then finish up your last few breaths wherever you are. And we're going to come into more of a standing squat here. So your feet are going to maybe be a little bit closer together, and you can take the inner ankles of your feet. Yeah, good. And squat down. And I like to use my elbows here to just open the inner thighs a little more. Woo. Anybody else feeling the burn? Wow. Yeah. Good. And then exhale, release it, and we'll just hang. So take your elbows, hang forward. Do a little head nod, forward, back, side, side. Breathe out through your mouth and jaw. Great. Inhale. We'll look up halfway. Exhale. Bring the hands onto your hips and just nice and slow, root down through the legs to come up to standing and walk your feet together. Yeah. And yeah, we'll face outside and just either bring the hands to the heart or palms facing open. We'll come back here to our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So you can either have the eyes closed or eyes just part way open. Resting in the stillness for a moment. Maybe resting the shoulders, noticing if there's any place in your body that's overworking or underworking. Great. Let's come back to our heart opening pose from the beginning. So the hands can come onto the lower back. You can separate your feet just a little bit. And actually, before you go there, let's do what we call the banker's pose. Richard Freeman pose. Yeah. So we're going to hook the thumbs underneath the armpits and lift the armpits so you're getting this length on the sides of the waist. And then you want to roll your shoulders back and down, and then kind of shake it up a little so it's not like this stiffness, right? Then take your hands onto your lower back, root down through the legs and lift the chest. Yeah, going into that same position. And we roll the shoulders back, lift the chest towards the sky. Take a couple of breaths. Good, and then interlace the hands. We'll come back up, interlace the hands, right the feet. Go for that stretch again where you're opening up the chest, and then exhale, come up and over. Forward fold, yeah, you got it. And if you separate your feet a little bit, like hip distance, it makes it a little easier. There you go. And breathe. So notice where those edges are. Quad muscles are quite engaged. And all the four corners of the feet grounding, so arches are wakeful. Yeah, good. Finish your breath. And just imagine someone's pulling a string from the top of your head as you come back up to standing. And that string keeps going up towards the sky. When you come into vertical, release the hands. Great. And then why don't you guys step to the front of your mat and face this way. Yeah. You guys are like in a zone. I love it. You're like, woo. So come up to the front of your mats. Yeah, come this way. Oh, good. So we're going to keep the right foot where it is. Step the left foot back. And in fact, if you want to use a block, this is actually a nice pose for a block. You guys don't have to, but I'll give it to you. Okay. So right foot is forward, left foot is turning in, and the heel is lined up with the arch of the front foot. And then inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, we're going to reach forward, reach. Take your hands to the block or either side of your foot, the hamstring stretch. And then take another breath, lifting the belly to the heart. Lift, lengthen, extend. Exhale, fold in. Sometimes this is not everybody's preferred pose, because it's a deep stretch in the hamstring. It can be challenging. So notice what your preference is. See if you can work the edge. Your big toe mound is rooting into the earth, and from that, pull the outer edge of your right hip back and fold. And then just let go of the form. Breathe. Stay where you are. See if you can stay maybe a little bit longer than you might prefer. And this is training, right? We get out into those things we don't want to change, and we go out into our life and we have some training. We have some resilience to be able to work through those changes. Great. And then inhale, look up halfway, and exhale. We'll be lazy. I'm just going to scoot over to the other side. Take your block if you want it. Good. And then inhale here. Lift the chest. And as you're lifting the chest, you want to pull the left hip crease back, right? Then exhale, go forward and breathe. So form and formless. Some of us like the worlds of the formless a little bit more. And this day-to-day form doesn't always make sense. Good. 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Exhale. Good, you guys. And then inhale, look up. Exhale. Let's walk back over to the front of our mat. So you're just going to keep going all the way back to the front. Step back to downward dog. And stretch it back. And then we'll come down onto our knees and just sit back for a moment. Close your eyes or gaze. Take that soft gaze and take a few breaths. Noticing just the subtle changes in your body, maybe in your emotional being. Maybe there's some subtle changes in your mental states. And just notice. Be that witness. Great. And then we'll let our eyes open. We're going to take the dolphin pose. It's not as fun as it sounds, but it's good. So the dolphin pose, we're going to take our hands, interlace the hands, and take your elbows about shoulder width apart. So the setup for this pose I find key. And also watching those transitions, right? So what you want to do is send your chest a little forward until you feel the weight come into the arms fully. Then once you're there, melt your chest so you feel the shoulder blades on the back. The key is to keep the shoulder blades rolling down the back as you lift your hips and maybe slide the hips back a little more. So you're actually pushing through the forearms. And just do your best. If you come up and you're like, I can't really stay in this, I don't have the strength, let's come right back down. Yeah, take your time, Afton. And those of you who maybe want to walk in a little more to challenge yourself, go for it. So then when you're ready and you've had enough, you'll come back, right back into the child's pose and just breathe. Yeah. Yeah, you might even feel like playing into an inversion. Maybe the headstand pops up. We're going to do it again, so you'll have the option if you want to. So Megan was just doing this. You guys can't see her, but if you come into dolphin and you have a headstand in your practice, you're welcome to maybe pop up a little bit, right? If you haven't done that one, don't worry about it. You're just going to stay here in the dolphin. This is so good for the shoulders. It's hard work, but it's good work, right? Yeah, really good, Afton. Yeah, good, Nikki. You can hoist your hips up a little more, Nikki. Yes, good. Nice, really good, Karen. Couple more breaths. Nice headstand, Sarah. And then when you're ready, slowly coming into child's pose and resting. So resting, so you might have challenged yourself a little bit in that pose. Yeah. What was the experience? Maybe it was a little hard, maybe it was felt really good. Just breathing for a few breaths here. Great. And then we're going to sliver our way here onto our bellies. Yeah. And let's take a nice shoulder opener. So we'll take our arms out to our sides. I don't really know if this has a name, but it's a fun pose. You're gonna roll over. You can use your left fingertips to roll over onto your right hip. Yeah, so you're kind of on your right hips, feet are stacked. Yeah, and then depending on your flexibility, you can maybe bend your top leg and take the foot behind you. It's a little twisty pose. Yeah, good, yes. And Nikki's got her foot. That's always nice too, to get the quad stretch there. And then we'll inhale, coming back, and then just playfully rolling to the other side. So there's the option just to stay here, stacking the feet, maybe bending the top leg, bringing it back. And then Nikki had this, which I love doing this too. I sometimes forget. Nice little quad stretch. And this is a little more of a hip opener. Good. When you've had enough, you're just going to come back onto your bellies, and we'll stack our hands and rest our forehead right there on the hands. And enjoy a couple of breaths, spreading the toes. Great. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your hands with your head on there and the elbows. Yeah. And then you're going to reach the arms out in front with the thumbs reaching up. And then, whoops, you can lift your legs and feet. So you're flying. Yes. And then we'll take the arms wide. You'll probably be able to come up a little higher. Arms by your side, shoulders back. Nice, everyone. And then exhale, release. Let's press back into child's pose. We're spending a little extra time, if you haven't noticed, in the transition poses. When we were doing our standing poses, it was downward dog, and now child's pose. So when we're in transitional times in the seasons, these are important times, especially like Ayurvedically, and I think in Chinese medicine as well. Like, you don't want to overdo things. You don't want to keep pushing yourself during these transitional times. It can throw us off balance. Yeah. Great. And then we'll inhale, push back onto the hands and knees. And let's take our left foot forward into a lunge. Little check-in. How's everybody doing? Feeling good? Afton, you hanging in there? Good. Okay. So in this lunge, we'll lift the right arm, and you can actually watch it as it goes back behind you. So there's a couple options here. You can take this nice big open twist. Maybe you want to bend your knee and take a hold of your foot. Another little quad stretch. You inspired me, Nikki. And then if you want a deeper quad stretch, this also kind of gets the psoas. Hold the foot with both hands and squeeze in a little bit with your legs. That's going to stabilize. And then you can sink. Woo. And then it goes a little deeper. So you can take this pose as far as you want. You can go into a little bit of a back bend, but you be the one who decides how far you want to go today. Right? Great. And then we'll exhale, release. Good. Where do I want to go? Let's do a twist. Inhale. I'm going to be spontaneous today. Right arm up. Exhale. Wrap it around. We'll take the hands at the heart center. Hug in a little bit. Inhale. Pull into the belly, the navel. And exhale. Radiate from the navel out. Beautiful. Couple of breaths. If you're bold and you want to take, well, no, let's not do it. Let's release. We'll come back to our little puppy pose. And then transitioning nice and slowly to the other side. So the right foot comes into a lunge. And we come here and we can just do this as an open twist, which is nice. Or you can take your back foot and bring it into a little more of a quad stretch. Yeah. Good. Keep trying. You got it. Yeah, so it's kind of a balancing pose too. And then some of you that want to do, hold your foot with both hands. If you have that balance in your body, it is a lot of balance. Yeah, and then depending, you might want to start opening it, a little more of a back bend. So you got to keep the tailbone or the pelvic floor toned. Protect the lower back, curl back, smile. And then exhale, release. And let's take it into a twist. Inhale, left arm up, and exhale, wrap it around. And hands can fold at the heart. Just a nice modified twist. Couple full breaths in, full breaths out. Every inhale, you can explore the opening and the space in the spine. Every exhale, deepening. Great, you guys, and then inhale, release, watch the transition. And exhale, coming back into puppy, full dog, or child's pose. Beautiful, and then we're gonna meet each other on our backs with the knees bent and the feet parallel, and you can rest your hands here on your belly, or one on the chest, one on the belly. We'll do just a few Ujjayi breaths here. And the eyes can be either closed or just in that soft kind of half gaze. Listen to your breath, let the ears be receptive, open to the sound. Good, and then from here, we're gonna take it into a bridge pose. So imagine water flowing under the bridge, right? And sort of a nice metaphor, right? For releasing that which you don't want to take with you into this season, whatever's wanting to compost, right? Let it flow under the bridge. And then you're going to take your bridge by rooting down through your feet, lifting your hips, and coming up onto the shoulders. Now, once you're here, a couple of options. You can stay here or interlace the hands, walk the shoulders in. And anyone who feels like going into Urdhva Dhanurasana, you're welcome. I'm not going to teach that this morning, the timing, but yeah. So how much water needs to run under that bridge? Lift the sacrum in and up and keep good. Keep the thigh bones parallel. Looks great, guys. Yeah, let's try to keep your Chin neutral, throat is soft. Yes. And then when you're ready, exhale, lower, release the hands. And again, hands on the front, on the belly or chest, and just come back to your breath. Start to slow your breath down a little bit more. This fall is like, it's the pull inward. It's like the push and the pull, right? Some part of us doesn't want to let go, and some part of us is ready for the change, ready for the cycle to change. And then when you're ready, take the knees into the chest. Give yourself a full body squeeze, as it's hugging in. Yeah. And then we'll take the knees wide and grab the outer feet. So the knees go wide, happy baby. This little hip opener. Yeah. Great. And then we're going to keep a hold of the right foot. Cross your right ankle over the left thigh into four square and reach through, and you'll either take the back of the hamstring or the front of the shin, whatever's more accessible. And the right foot, you're going to keep that right foot a little bit engaged. And just breathe 5 long breaths here. Lengthening your exhale and maybe taking in a little more on your inhale. And then on your next exhale, release your hands, but you're going to keep the legs where they are and cross your right knee all the way over. So your knees are crossed, right leg is on top of the left. Yeah, there you go, Nikki, good. And then we'll twist the knees. The knees are going to go over to the left side as your gaze goes over to the right. So the arms can come out to the sides. Yeah, it's a nice sort of little bit of a passive twist. Yeah, letting gravity do the work here. And finishing that next exhalation, fully we'll inhale, bring the knees back up and then switch sides. Cross your left ankle. Yeah, and then take a hold of the back of the right leg somewhere, the hamstring or the shin. Or you can stay here. For me, this side is a lot more challenging. Deepening your breath. We start to allow our attention to go more into the formless as we begin closing our practice, more into the breath, more into the subtle body. And then you'll exhale, gently release the hands, cross your left knee over your right, and then knees will twist over to the right. Yeah. And just let gravity hold you here. Beautiful. And take your last couple of breaths. Inhale, bringing your knees back up slowly. Yeah, give yourself one more little squeeze, a little squeeze of self-love, and just gratitude for you, for the effort you made to show up for yourself this morning on your yoga mat. To grow yourself a little bit more. Every time we step on our mats, we are growing ourselves. We are pushing ourselves into maybe uncomfortable places. So just taking a moment of acknowledging that, and exhale, release the feet, and we'll stretch the legs out one at a time. You can take a nice big full body stretch here, reaching the arms overhead. Feel as if you're 10 feet tall here. Yes. And then exhale, let the arms come out to your sides, and you'll just slowly work your way back into Shavasana, the palms facing up. The legs and feet fall away from each other. Just turn the lights out. And fall is also a time to stay warm. So if you at all feel chilled, you might want a blanket on you. You want a blanket, Karen? Yeah, you just relax. Good. Yeah. And just find your way back into a restful place. Allow any residual tension in your face, especially around your jaw and your eyes, to just soften. And sometimes it can even be helpful just to watch the restlessness in Shavasana. Just kind of be the witness. And let everything go. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hips. The bones in your legs and all the way down to your feet. So we'll slowly begin to come back into our bodies through the breath, allowing the in-breath to deepen and the out-breath to lengthen. And just as the Buddha said, the only constant in our lives is change. So if we can accept change, we'll probably live a little more peacefully. Taking a deep breath into that as you begin to stretch the ankles and wrists and arms overhead. And just gently bending both knees, roll over to one side and just take it slow with the transition. Don't be in a rush, right? So going from the deep restful position and transitioning on your side, just taking a moment, like seeing yourself coming into your day and making your way up to a comfortable seat with the hands at the heart. So just take a moment to feel in the practice. Make an intention as you head into your day. Take the thumbs up to the third eye for a moment, lifting our viewpoint up a little bit higher. And with a bow of gratitude, we hold in Namaste. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Sarah and Kay.
It was delightful, Allison. Thank you.
Good. Glad you enjoyed it. You can all just sit here like the Buddha. In the warm honey. You know, moving through warm honey. You know, I have a preference of doing that too. Warm water, warm honey. Just to let you guys know too, okay, but just to let some of you know, I'll be here next Thursday, and I'm also teaching for Jeannie the next 2 Tuesdays, if anybody wants to come. It's the same time, it's 9, but it goes till 10:30, just a little longer. And then I leave for the Philippines on the 11th. I'm going to have Jeannie cover my classes. I was thinking, like, is there a way I could do it? But it's like 14 hours and I have no idea where I'm going to be, so I'm just going to have Jeannie teach. So she'll be here. And she's also going to be online. So you might want to try her class, Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'll see you next week. And if you want to come Tuesdays, I'll be sending out the Zoom link, and love you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.